Attention, attention, attention. This is Team number 9, Yankee Uniform Echo, announcing that the recording for the net tonight has begun. TY9 YUE.
Attention, attention, attention. This is the Telnet C of the day. I am your net controller, Tingette number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. If you're around and would like to check in, please come in with your call sign.
Team number 9, Yankee Uniform Echo, put me last.
Vignette number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Vignette number 4, Lima Echo India.
Vignette number 3, Whiskey November Golf.
Vignette number 2, Delta November Golf.
Vignette number 4, Sierra Hotel Golf.
All right. Controller recognizes Tingette number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf. Tingette number 4, Lima Echo India. Tingette number 3, Whiskey November Golf. Tingette number 2, Delta November Golf. And Tingette number 4, Sierra Hotel Golf. And of course, TY9, Yankee Uniform Echo. Will there be anyone else to join us tonight? Please come in with your call sign.
Yacht number 2, Kilo India November.
Vignette number 2, Golf Alpha Papa.
Vignette number 2, Golf Echo India.
All right. Controller recognizes Tingette number 2, Golf Alpha Papa, Tingette number 2, Golf Alpha India, and I don't think I caught the last person. It was Kilo India. It was before Golf Alpha Papa. I couldn't quite catch that one. Could you say your call sign again?
Sure, it's Yacht number 2, Kilo India November.
right, team at number 2, Kilo, we're India. All right. So, tonight, very easy, pretty easy tonight. Not too much, not too stressful. So, I was thinking about some things, and I had been looking out my window, and I remember when I was camping, when I used to camp. I used to do that a lot. Rough camping at that. It wasn't glamping like I would need to now because of me being soft and everything. I can't be out here rolling around on the ground like that. So I have to take different measures. When I was younger, oh yeah. Me and trees were doing good, and I could lay down on the ground, not worry about it. It was fine. But I had witnessed a lot of things in that time period, and it was definitely something that I liked to do. So this is an open discussion format. Starting the topic. If you feel that you have another topic that you'd like to bring up to the table, let me know, or let us all know. We have 3 minutes for everyone. Please wrap up around that time so we can give everybody a chance to talk. So the topic is, what's the craziest thing you've seen? Whether that's at work, at home, out in nature, at school. What's the craziest thing? Give you a minute to think it over. So you can kind of think back to something that maybe you may have thought at the time was really crazy, and maybe now it makes more sense. But, what's the craziest thing that you've seen in any kind of a setting, whether at home, at work, or outside? All right. Team at number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Team number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf. Good day, Sergeant Jan. Good day, net controller. Good day to my seniors or my juniors. And hopefully everybody's having a good Friday. I'll definitely need a minute to think about this. Nothing is immediately flooding to my mind right now. Simply because I've kind of like trained myself to not dwell in the past or think about the past, especially things that I've experienced. I just tend to keep pushing forward. So if possible, could you come back to me so I can have some time to think about something that's maybe a little bit more relevant or a little bit more in line with the topic of today, something that is at least entertaining. Back to you, Net Controller.
Oh, of course. If you feel that the topic is a little beyond what you feel is a scope, you're free to change it. It doesn't mean you got to go with what I'm talking about, I know for me, I'll start off if it's easier. So basically what happened when I saw something crazy, I was actually camping for like 30 days in the forest, and I had seen a number of things. I actually saw the Aurora Borealis where I was, and watching the sky just ripple like waves was so amazing to me. And then, of course, after that, I was in, such a remote location. There was a weather phenomenon that was called, it wasn't a downspout, but it was like a wind. And this wind where I was staying had rippled all the way across the lake so much, and so with such force that it literally laid down all the trees on the opposite side of where I was staying. It didn't affect me at all, but it was almost like a tornado, but it wasn't a tornado. It was a very strong wind, and quite humbling to see that. So yeah, I can come back to you if you feel, or we can just let me know. So, team at number 4, Lima Echo India.
Team number 4, Lima Echo India. The craziest thing I see too many crazy, like I just see too many crazy stuff. So it becomes the norm for me. Like I can give an example, like you go out in the street, you're going to see a bunch of, you can see this like, I don't know, 45-year-old lady standing in the corner. She ain't got no teeth, and she waving at you. Things like that. But speaking of camping, I would say my experience with camping was my parents made me go to this camping place. It was with like the church. They brought their people, like it was a whole group, and we were in the church. It was like a church thing. Yeah, so he made me go there, have fun with them. I ended up bullying one of them. Like I tried to break his arm, and yeah, and the adults came in to stop me. Yeah, I didn't know what it was about, but I was twisting his arm. I was trying to hurt him. That was my experience when I was in that place right there. Yeah, a couple of adults tried to stop me, like, why you do that? Why you try to break his arm? Snap his wrist? I forgot what we had an argument, and yeah. After that, like I stopped going. Like, yeah, that was the last time I went. I think I only went like twice, but then after that, they're like, yeah, you don't need to go no more. But that was one of my experiences when talking about camping. Kenya number 4, Lima Echo India.
Tingit number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. Wow, Tingit number 4, Lima Echo India is on 10. All man on 10. I don't know what to say. That's interesting. I guess I never really got into, like, I don't know, fighting and stuff. Maybe later I got into fighting, but it was only for self-defense. I never really had anything to do with anybody else, coming to get me or initiating that kind of stuff. So I guess it's just one of my things. So let's hear from Tingit number 3, Whiskey November Golf.
Tingit number 3, Whiskey November Golf. So I kind of grew up in California, so everything there is kind of weird to me. That's normal, like, but like Sehong said, like on the corner of the street, you see an old woman waving at you with no teeth. She probably messed out. I've seen a lady preach about Jesus on like one of those kiddie tricycles, and she was kind of like messed out too, and wearing a tutu. And that's kind of like the norm. I've seen people defecate in the streets and sleep in the defecate, like the feces too, in LA. So that was kind of norm to me. But I think the weirdest thing I've ever seen or been through in my life, it was a very sexual experience with this one dude. And he was the one who taught me about, I think it's called cucking. And essentially what it is like, you degrade them, like you slap them and say very mean things. And I wasn't down for that, but he was telling me his interest about it. And then I was like, I'm not into that. And then he was all like, okay, let's try something else. And then he pulled his pants down, and there's like a cage wrapped around his genital areas. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, what's going on? And I kind of like ran for the hills, especially when he started pulling out like other tools. And I think that was like kind of like the weirdest and craziest thing too that I've ever seen and been through in my life. And I don't ever want to go through that again. So yeah, back to you. Tingit number 3, Whiskey November Golf.
Oh yeah, Tingit number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. I used to have some of those days. Well, back in the, back when, it was easier to get around, but I was a person that used to hitchhike. So I would hitchhike everywhere. Run around my town. I'd get in the car. I'd roll around the car and go. What really broke me from doing that, it made me stop, was an experience just like what you might have described there. As I got in the car with one dude, and he goes, yeah, I could take you to wherever it is that you're going. And then he got me where I was supposed to go. And then the weird stuff happened. And he pulls out the sausage. And then the sausage exploded. And I went, oh, this is gross. I never want to do this again. Ever. He was clearly sick. He was clearly sick. But I was shocked. I was done. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this again. No more hitchhiking, whatever it is. I'll take public transportation. I'll walk. I'll take a bike, whatever, if I don't have to go through this anymore in my life. And I was done. So yeah, done. Let's hear from Tanya number 2. Delta November Golf. I was traumatized. Yeah.
Team Yacht number 2, Delta November Golf. Greeting everyone on the net. And Chiajang Lijang. Yeah, I have one of the experience, pretty scary one is when I was on vacation, I guess, in Indonesia. So we are from Bali Island. It's beautiful Bali. So we want to cross to the next island. It called is Lombok Island. It's actually much more pure and beautiful than Bali actually, because it's not much people visiting there, I think. So yeah, and then we are trying to go to that, and then using the ship. Supposed to be like to cross is take only like 4 hours by ship, and then there's a storm after that when we are on the way, right? So there's a storm, and then like the ship is the engine is shut off, and you know we are like go wherever the wind blow or the wave. So it's kind of like far away from the destination, and then like I was still like a kid, and a lot of people like I saw a lot of people like screaming, like cry, and everybody scared like that. Like I was a kid, I don't know. I'm hungry. I want to eat noodle. so, so everybody like scared, and then because I'm not thinking about I'm gonna die, right? So I'm just enjoying my noodle. And but that's pretty scary. Like everybody like screaming each other and then fighting, and then like everybody ready to go, using the safe like a balloon. uh, and then actually the skipper like always trying for help, reaching for help, like doing the SOS, So, but eventually there's a bigger ship coming, and then tied up our ship, and then bring us to the destination. And then it takes like what's supposed to be 4 hours. It takes like a 12 to 13 hours. Like wow, there's a pretty scary moment that I cannot forget. Yeah. Back to you, net control. Then yet number 2, Delta November Golf.
Wow. Team number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. Yeah. The 3-hour tour. It sounds like what was it, Gilligan's Island? That was what? It just went out for a little bit and it took 3 hours. Now they're on there for however long, months. Got stranded. Yeah, that sounds pretty scary from a young person's perspective. So yeah, but you was interested in your noodles. You got your noodle. That was what was needed. That was needed, and everything was going. So yeah. Let's ready to go to ticket number 4. Sierra Hotel Golf.
Yeah, number 4, Sierra Hotel Golf. I guess a story I could say was about 5 years ago. I was in my shop, and I, got to know this young guy who, came in, and he was being friendly and stuff, and it turned out that he had a bunch of he was really into Lego, and he had all these big sets of Lego, and he wanted to make a deal with me and I was thinking of possibility of making a bit of extra money. So he was going to put some Lego stuff in one of my windows at the front and pay me like $50 a week just for the advertising, just for the window display. And so he was cool with that, but then he kind of just started like moving all his stuff in, and then he wanted to move, like he wanted to stay the night in the back of the shop. And then when I grudgingly let him do it one day, but I came back the next morning, and the whole thing had been rearranged, and he'd moved half his shit from his house into the shop, and it was just getting really creepy and weird. And I said, he can't do that, and that he needs to get out, and take his stuff. And then I thought, it'll give him a couple of days to sort this out and get his stuff out. And so then I turned up the next morning, and all the bins from the local area had been dragged and put in front of the my shop window. So there was like about 10 bins piled up with string outside the front, so that blocking, like because where he put his Lego stuff, like blocking so no one could see that. And it was just fucking weird. And so then I was in the shop. I called the police about it, and then the cops came, and he had come back because I'd taken it down, and then the cops had come, and I videoed him while he was trying to put the bins back up again. And so I ended up going and making a statement to the police, and they, I had to. Oh, basically, I had to get the police to come and watch me while I put all the Lego stuff into a van and drive it to drop outside his house. Um, anyway, it was just a long. There's more that happened, but it's just crazy shit. That yeah, I learned not to trust anybody pretty much in regards to business or shops. After that, anyway, that's my story. Tiniac number 4, Sierra Hotel Golf.
Singing number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. Yeah, you don't need to be sorry. There's always that one person that shows up when you least expect it. I think it sometimes happens like a test, to see how your boundaries are going, because sometimes people just show up out of nowhere for no reason and no connection. And they just try you to see what you're going to do. And then they just disappear. Sometimes it shows up again, but a lot of times it doesn't show up at all anymore. So it depends. Really, that's an interesting story though. But I had a couple of instances like that with people trying to move in on me and not wanting to leave. Yeah, had that experience too. So, all right. So let's go to Tingit number 2, Kilo India November.
Hi there. Are you able to hear me? I'm trying to see if I'm using this correctly.
You are heard and you have the floor.
So something interesting that happened to me that you guys might be interested in. I used to work in a surveillance room at a major science campus for a drug manufacturing company, and they had a big multi-story, multi-building campus, and we had hundreds of cameras everywhere. And one time at night, I saw something on the gate camera hovering above the gatehouse. And I went back later, and I pulled the footage, I clipped it, I sent it to myself, and I showed it to friends of mine. My one friend who was in the Air Force and served in Afghanistan, and he's trained in aircraft recognition, and nobody could tell me what it was. It was the weirdest thing. It didn't even look like an object. It just looked like light that was like spinning. So I remember I showed it to my supervisor, and I told him I saw a UFO. And he was laughing at me. And then when he saw it, he turned white. And he said, "You need to not talk about UFOs anymore and don't show that to anyone." I said, "Okay, sorry."
Oh, wow. That's interesting. UFOs. Very interesting topic. It's been said that, some of the intelligent forces and life out here are not from this plane, and I imagine that's probably right. So there's a lot of people down here, so I would imagine what other intelligences are out there. But I'm thinking that they're probably avoiding us, like we're just ants or something, because we can't even get along with each other. How are we going to get along with a whole different race and species of other human, thing? We can't even have to talk to each other at the time. So I don't know. So let's go to thing at number 2, Golf Alpha Papa.
Opinion number 2, Golf Alpha Papa. Greetings, net controller, and everybody in the net. Yeah, so I've definitely seen some shit. Just a wide variety of crazy. Like I used to hang out with the industrial crowd in Chicago, so we'd be up pretty late. Um, and sometimes we do psychedelics. But like that wasn't like when I saw the craziest stuff though. Like you see a lot of the clubs that we visit out there, like they were like straight up doing like BDSM stuff, like just like casually off to the side. um, but I think one of the craziest things, and it was entertaining and kind of freaky at the same time. My buddy, he was talking about like he was having problems with squirrels, right? He lived on the third floor of this building, and he was like putting poison in peanut butter, and some of our friends were like, oh, it's animal cruelty, yada yada, right? And he's like, you don't understand, these squirrels out here are crazy. He was telling us, he's like they're starving, so that means they get rowdy. And I was like, oh, he's exaggerating. And then so I stayed up with him till like the dawn time, and we were like out in the back porch, and sure enough, there was like an army of squirrels like in the trees. And the craziest thing is like they were like advancing like synchronized. It's like their tails were shaking at the same time, and they were like moving. It was crazy. It's like I was laughing and nervous at the same time. Like, are they gonna straight up come in here? He's like, this is why I do this. Like he had like leave these peanut butter canisters with like rat poison out there for him. Yeah, that was pretty nuts. And I know that might seem kind of mild, but there was a lot of squirrels. And like they were like a little army. They're like, yeah, like synchronizing their movements and everything. I was like, this is nuts. Uh, Out number 2, Golf Alpha Papa.
Thing at number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha, the Squirrel Army. Yeah, I don't mess with squirrels like that. Yeah, I used to know a guy that would hunt them, and he'd go at one person, and then what he'd do. Actually, I was his girlfriend at the time, so it was like I get on one side of the tree, he'd chase him, and then they run to the other side of the tree, and then he'd shoot him. Ugh. And then if he actually skinned, and then he liked to skin it and eat it, and it was crazy. Yeah, the squirrel stew, roadkill. Gosh. So yeah, I know what happens with those squirrels. They're a tough group of mammals. Tough group of mammals. So, team at number 2, Golf Echo India.
Vignette number 2, Gulf Echo India. Internet's been weird over here. I think I'm dealing with some weird lag. Greetings, net controller. Hi, everyone. Sujong, Gijong. Yeah, I have lived in Chicago for a number of years, and I used to hang out with all kinds of people, models, fetish models, dancers of all kinds. I've seen some really weird stuff. Um, I've also done my fair share of camping and outdoorsiness. Actually, Gap and I went to a parkour retreat some years ago now, and there were some people doing some really crazy stuff out there. But honestly, my favorite crazy memory was when I was a kid. My ex-dad ran a kennel, some dog boarding for a while. It was really inadvised, like like most of his ideas. It was really ill-advised. Um, so there was this pair of Akitas that he used to board, and they were huge. Brother and sister. The sister was very much in charge, but the brother was a little bit aggressive. Oh, it says I'm still sending. Okay. So, my little sister had this Shih Tzu, which is a tiny, fluffy little dog, if you're not familiar. Um, so she liked to run back and forth in front of the fences, barking her little head off at the kennel dogs, to show them who's boss. And one day she was out running around doing her thing, and didn't know that my dad was walking the Akitas. So he came around the corner of the garage, and Emmy, the Shih Tzu, ran smack into him. And I was right behind Emmy because she wasn't supposed to be out of the house while the Akitas were walking. And my dad and I ran into each other as this Akita boy had her entirely in his mouth. Like her little tail was sticking out, and that was it. Like he was flossing with her. We got him to spit her out. She was entirely uninjured. But yeah, she didn't do that again. Just like the the sight of this little dog who just fit entirely in this other dog's mouth. Like, and he didn't like bite her or anything. It was just very much, yeah, who's the boss now? Anyway, that's my favorite crazy story. Tune out number 2, Golf Echo India.
Wow, that is a crazy story. Another dog just snapped up. Yeah, that is a good one. Let's see if TY2CHG has a time that he can relate to us. Are you ready, TY2CHG?
Tenet number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf. Yes, like I guess the idea that popped into my head, seeing that everybody is speaking about camping, doing all these outdoor stuff, is probably the time I almost died at the beach. It's a really long story, but I'll just cut short because I know we're kind of like OT right now. But essentially, I went to the beach, and for anybody who has grown up on an island, you usually most people know how to swim. If you're living on an island, that's like you have to know how to swim because you're usually in the water. And at that particular time, it was like I think it was I believe it was like the rainy season, and most people usually go to the beach at the rainy season because there's like a lot of heavy tides. It's basically a stream of water or a current that's under the water itself, a current that could pull you and carry you out. And that particular beach I went to, it's kind of known for like taking people life. Like you could go at that particular beach and drown, and your body will end up probably like on another island, like in Venezuela, and that's like a couple of 100 miles away from the island I was on. And yeah, so essentially, I just wasn't paying attention. Went into the water, and the waves were pretty high. And because the waves are pretty high, you usually go under. Because if you're surfing and stuff, you'll go under the wave. You won't try to go over or jump or take the wave. You'll go under the wave. But the more you go under the wave, is the more you go out to the ocean because you're not really realizing how far you're going because you keep going under the wave. And I kept doing that, wasn't really paying attention to where I was because you're not really, you don't really have like a sense of distance when you're docking under a wave to see where the shoreline is because you keep going under, especially with salt water. And I end up getting caught in a wave. Oh, sorry, no, a current, and a really bad current because it almost took me out. And as I was trying to escape from this current, the only thing I could do was was just hope I didn't die because it was a really strong current, and like some of the people who were like on the beach watching me fighting for my life were told me that I was literally just swimming in one particular spot, like I was frozen in the water because I was trying to fight against the current. And usually if you're a good swimmer and you have to fight to come out of a strong current, you have to swim at an angle to the shoreline. Because if you try to swim straight, yeah, you're just gonna get taken because you can't really fight nature. But yeah, that's my story. Tenet number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf.
Ticket number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. Wow. I'm glad you're here with us because, yeah, that water ain't nothing to play with at all. So let's go to ticket number 9, uniform, Yankee uniform, Echo.
Hi, and everyone on the net. This is Tinya number 9, Yankee Uniform Echo. Oh, crazy things. Well, so many of them in my life, but I'm not going to like go back then that much. So let's pick something recent. um, well, this is like me telling you the honest side. Okay, so recently we have some new disciples, including one that is very unique, which is Weng, and she went through quite a lot of shit. And I was there to deal with the shit with her while it's happening. So there was a night where she was going like all sick and spinning and all that, and I exactly know what's going on. But you know what? Here's the fun part. The quote crazy part is um like at that moment I was like, yeah, so it's now on me, right? Like I am the one to fix this, not like, hospital or doctors or whatever, right? Me again. I had those moments before saving disciples, and I said to myself, I'm not doing this kind of shit again. Like I don't want to be the doctor of the disciple anymore. It was so scary because the thing is, well, first of all, I am not a doctor, right? And I have not went to like med school or whatever kind of training. So it's all just whatever I have learned in the Samlo side, and I don't work anywhere that allows me to keep practicing what I learned. So it's like, yeah, this is maybe the first or the second or the third, right? Like not a lot, a person that you're handling, and yeah, you have no time to practice. There's no practice. This is the real thing. You neither fix the problem or you fuck up. So at that moment, I was like, what do I do? It is freaky. Okay, it's like telling you that it is freaky because the thing is, as a Saton, if you can't fix this problem, right? What do you do? Like if the person keep getting sick, and not getting well, tomorrow, like you might lose a disciple. You might lose a lot of disciples. You might get into some big trouble. What do you do? Like it is the only thing you can do is to actually fix the problem. There's no other ways, right? The kind of responsibility that suddenly was dropped on your shoulder, it's very freaky in a way, to me. Like, not to mention that some disciples, if they're nasty, they can sue you, right? But I know she's not going to sue me, right? But the thing is, like, if the thing is not going well, that would be a big problem. Like, first of all, I'm putting someone else in danger, and secondly, like everyone is looking at this, and everyone is expecting, like, yeah, someone would deal with it. It's gonna be fine. But to me, I'm like, I don't know. How would I know? I never tried this, like this is my second time or the third time. I never know. And I never expect anything. I could not expect anything. So whenever a disciple come to me and they say they have this and that problem, you know what? Like, honestly, I don't know. Like, I only know I have to Like I'm put on the table. Like you have to solve the problem for him or her. Like when Lei come back to me, right? He is like, "Oh, I have all this problem. I'm seeing the Yigot, and they're like killing me, and I'm suiciding." I'm like, "Okay, I can help, but inside me, my true feeling is that I don't know. I can only tell you that I have these things to offer, and you come back, and I'm like, okay, well, we can try, but I'm not going to tell you like we're going to try, right? Like try seems like very lame. So I'm like, yeah, I can deal with it. But at the back, it's really a freaky, crazy feeling because I don't work in a hospital dealing with many people every day. And then it's like, yeah, I deal with this every day. I'm kind of get used to it. No, it's not. In 365 days, I don't do exorcism. I don't like save people's life every day. I don't do that. And it's not like you work in a warehouse and you do the same thing over and over again and it's become numb. No, it's not. Every time when shit like that happen, it's a freak out moment. Like I don't know if I will success or fail. I know stuff, like I have knowledge, but the thing is I never actually did that many times to tell myself it is going to work for sure, right? Yeah, you have to have faith, but at the same time, it doesn't mean I'm not scared. So telling you guys the real feeling is that, when someone call me on Zello and they're like, "Oh shit, something this happened, that happened," I'm like, you know what? You're panicking, right? Me too. Me too. But I have to act like nothing happened. So I'm like, okay, do this, do this. I'll come back to you in a few minutes. And then, yeah, like I immediately go scream help. Like I go back to my master and I'm like, oh shit, oh shit. Like that's what I'm doing. Like when you owe shit to me, I owe shit to my upper, and they know. So, yeah, this is the true side, the reality side. Okay, when you have problems, yeah, it's not like I'm a Superman, I am not like 100% sure win, but I go scream to my upper for help, and then they calm me down, and then I start to do whatever they say, and hey, eventually it worked. But it doesn't mean that I'm not scared. So I think that being in my position doing this kind of job is kind of crazy already because it's like, hey, what if, what if there's no one giving you like, you know, um, 50 cases a day to deal with. You're not like working in a hospital, like with an environment and many people supporting. No, no, it's only you. Yeah. This guy is like suffering from this problem and then she's like backing out and all that. Hey, you got to fix it. It's you. Yeah, only you. Oh my goodness. Man. I think that is so crazy. TY9YUE, back to you.
Ticket number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha. We all believe in you, Sichuan. I don't think anybody here doubts your skill and your abilities. I think it's healthy that you're cautious and have a healthy fear of what could happen. And I don't think anybody here doubts that. I think it's a good thing. I think we'd be suspicious if every time we came to you, you're like, oh, it's never mind. Never mind. It's just fine, But you've always been honest with all of us. And I think that goes a long way for transparency and knowing that we all can rely on you for everything that we need. So we are so OT, everyone, because the current time in Toronto is like 10:12. Yeah, 9:12, 9:12. Yes, 9:12. And this is your net controller, Tingnet number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha, concluding tonight's net. Thank you all for joining. Remember, you're always welcome to continue the discussion in the line chat room. The next net is, this net is officially closed, and the channel is returned to normal use. We will see you again the day after tomorrow, Sunday, same time, same channel. Tingnet number 4, Hotel Alpha Alpha is clear.
Tinyet number 2, Charlie Hotel Golf, clear.
Tina number 9, Yankee Uniform Echo, clear.